Welcome back to Ace Attorney, I guess. We are in the middle case of the second game, the third out of 6 cases. And if I remember correctly, No, okay. I thought we were in a break moment, but no. So, let's see what we can do here. To be clear, I'm still at the stage of gathering data for my research.
Hold it!
And yet, your retort to my argument wasn't lacking in confidence in any way. No scientist can find the truth without first finding self-belief. Those were the words of a certain scientist I hold very highest esteem. We have established this round already. Disproving my arguments put you in a very precarious situation. Don't protect yourself. Strive to protect the truth. More words of the same great scientist. Yeah. So we went through this. We also pressed on everything. We kind of need to find something we can do. I have a thesis states that kinesis cannot transport metal. Hence the metal weapon would have stayed put. That's why this screwdriver was still at the platform. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart inflicted by a sharp implement. Broken vertebra most likely resulting from the impact of the sudden fall from considerable height. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the vein. Eh. I'm going to risk this, and the game is gonna punish me for it, but the scientist just said, like, his machine cannot transport metal, but this glass has metal on it. It shouldn't be transferred. So I'm going to use that. That wasn't there.
Objection!
Oh, I was actually right away from the get-go. What is this? Is this still Ace Attorney? It can't be Ace Attorney. It actually let me do the correct thing. Professor Bun, you say that according to your hypothesis, nothing made of metal can be beamed by instantaneous kinesis using the machine you made. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Spot on. Exactly. Correct. In that case, I would ask you to have a look at this photo that was taken at the scene. In particular, I would like you to pay attention to the victim's face. You can clearly see that My ass is wearing a pair of spectacles with a metal rim. What? Metal? No, metal can't. That's not metal? No! We've already established that the proposed murder weapon, the screwdriver, was found on the stage. However, if your hypothesis correctly predicted that outcome, it should also have predicted that the metal-rimmed spectacles would be found in the same place. Ah, my hypothesis! My hypothesis! Professor Bun Bun, this isn't easy for me to say, but your hypothesis is clearly flawed. Honor! Water! 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 Counsel, what is the implication of this? If on the day in question the alleged instantaneous kinesis never actually took place, then it's entirely possible that the victim was killed somewhere other than on stage. In that case, someone other than the defendant could have been the culprit. But my hypothesis is sound. I proved it that day. The experiment was a success. The experiment was proof of all my work.
I could say something here in my capacity as a fellow of the Royal Society.
Yes, juror number 4, go ahead.
As a man of science, there's one thing I cannot abide. I simply cannot abide. And that's a fraud who pretends to be a fellow man of science.
What? Wait, great Scott! Are you suggesting my science is suspect? Sussy?
It's been disproved, hasn't it, in front of all of us. In other words, the whole demonstration was a complete nonsense from the start to finish. Believe me, my fellow jurors, when I tell you that this man is a heel, a bounder and a fraud. I say the wreckage of that machine should be stripped down and thoroughly examined.
No, never. The machine is the essence of my entire hypothesis. It's protected by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
What the devil is that blasted act all about, eh? Who made up such a daft rule?
Don't like the way this seems to be going. What's the best way for me to help the professor? Punch him? Raise an objection. Oh well.
Objection!
Professor Bun Bun has yet to perfect his invasion. That would seem to be the case, yes. But even so... Even so what? Going to such trouble and expenses to create a fake machine to display in public. He would have absolutely no reason to do such a thing.
Objection!
He had an obvious reason to do exactly that. For the research grant money.
If the government was foolish enough to have deemed the man's ridiculous notion plausible, he and his conspirators would have received a handsome sum indeed.
Conspirators? What would have be the value of such a grant? £10? £10? I know £10 is a lot more money back then, but £10?
You're an order of magnitude out, madam. £500 a year. Oh, you could live handsome for that much for many years. The societies noticed an increase in bogus public demonstrations in the field of science recently. And plenty of scientists arguing with each other to get the largest slice of the funding cake. People's greed is plenty motive enough for murder, I assure you.
He has a point. No, I haven't deceived anyone. Least of all the government. My hypothesis is sound. The science is sound. Please, you must believe me.
Objection!
No matter how unbelievable these hypotheses may seem to you, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains that the victim was transported instantly to the Crystal Tower. Which means that the experiment was a success. Baroque! And therefore, the only person who could possibly have committed this murder is the accused. Baroque. Where's this heading? I have no idea. Me lord, if I may. Yes, Lord and Six. The prosecution would like to summon new witnesses to the stand. New witnesses? What would be the nature of their involvement? They were spectators of the demonstration at the exhibition who were occupying special seats. Eyewitnesses? Very well, the court grants the prosecution's request. I should very much like to hear from eyewitnesses to the incident. The prosecution's stance is clear. This experiment was no pastiche. The accused killed the financier victim there on the public stage before the very eyes of the spectators. Now, my learned friend. Oh, yeah? It is time for you to make your own stance clear. There's clearly a flaw in the professor's hypothesis. I can definitely see that. But there does not... but where does that leave me? We shall take a short recess now, during which time the prosecution will prepare its new witnesses to take the stands. As you wish, me lord. Good. In that case, court is adjourned for 20 minutes. Bam. Just like that. To be continued. Mr. Naruhodo, what on earth were you playing at just now? Or rather, what on earth were you playing at all along? My hypothesis, my amazing hypothesis, you've been picking holes in it from the start. Sorry about that. But you promised me. You said you would prove that the dreaded explosion was an accident, not murder. Why is he blaming us for this? Like, he actually fought for this. You said you would keep my precious invention from falling into anyone else's hands. Hi there, Itsu. How's it going? Sniffer. but all you've done so far is try to undermine me. Yes, I did make you a promise, you're right. I said I would believe in you and fight for your freedom to the very end. But I also told you I was no scientist. I don't understand your hypothesis. The fact is, there's an undeniable flaw in your logic, isn't there? Oh, but if I just run through some equations. Yes, you see, it's because my work is incomplete. That is an excuse. I'm doing well. How are you doing? I'm also doing fine, thank you. Perhaps it is. Nevertheless, a man died as a consequence, didn't he? Oh no! You're right. You're so right. It's all my fault. And I have no right to blame you for my failures. I'm a disaster, not just as a scientist, but as a human being. Well, that might be a little over the top. And while we are here on the subject, what about Barack? He's being awful. Maybe he just didn't say that. Claiming his old university friend to be a murderer, you mean? He's a disaster, not just as a prosecutor, but as a human being. Oh, but no, he's the Reaper, isn't he? Perhaps he's not classified as Homo sapiens anymore. Yes, he's now called Batus sapiens? I don't know. Glad that's cleared up. Can I double check something with you? Ah, yes, what? The machine and the demonstration you prepared, they were based entirely on your hypothesis, I presume? There was no trickery involved? I drew the plans for the machine with my very own hands. Every line was painstakingly drawn with the firm belief that science is the only future. So yes, it's true that my hypothesis hasn't reached maturity yet. But please, Mr. Naruhodo, you must believe in it. Alright, Professor, I understand. Oh no. Counsel, defendant. The prosecution's witnesses are ready to take the stand. Court is about to be in session again. Make your way to the courtroom, please. Why does this guy even exist? It all hinges on that demonstration. If the professor's hypothesis is sound as he claims, it leaves him as the only person who could possibly have killed the victim. But on the other hand, Mr. Sholmes was adamant. A practical implementation such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition is quite impossible. So, really, what should I be trying to prove here? In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby reconvene the proceedings of this court. Counsels for the defense and prosecution, are you ready for the new witnesses to testify?
The prosecution is ready, my lord.
As is the defense, my lord. So, Lord Van Six, I believe these next witnesses saw the demonstration on the day in question with their own eyes.
Indeed, they did. And as luck would have it, one of them is a police detective. God. So the testimony we are about to hear can be considered highly reliable.
Don't bring back sleepy guy. Perfect, a detective of all people.
The prosecution's stance remains unchanged. Though it ended in a tragedy, the demonstration on that day in question was scientifically sound. And consequently, the sole person with the opportunity to have committed this act of murder is the only other individual that had to have been present on the stage at the time, the accused.
Thank you, counsel. The prosecution's position is clear. So bring forth your witnesses now.
Bailiff showed the witnesses in. The witnesses, whose proximity to the incident on the day in question will clarify the truth unequivocally. What a stupid word.
Great.
Witnesses, state your names, occupations for the court to hear.
My... What voice do I give this guy? What is going on with his hat? This is extremely irritating. He basically has a hot air balloon on his head. Loon. Really? My name is Balthasar Loon. I am the impresario of all the hot air balloons in vicinity of the experimental stage. I just wanted to say, before I even read the text below there, I looked at the name and was like, what the fuck is this name? And what is this? Okay, it's a boy, I guess. Yeah, because of the fly. So I can read this guy in German, right? Mein Name ist Wilhelm Gottsreich Sigismund Ornstein. Capcom, are you trying to make here an Easter egg to Dark Souls? Ornstein and Smoke. Wilhelm Gottsreich. That's why they shortened his name to Gotts. Sigismund Ornstein. So the first is Wilhelm, as you can understand. Gottsreich is German. It's a combination of two words of God and kingdom. Sigismund, Sigi is basically a name, Sigi, and Mond is moon, so it's Sigismund, and Ormstein. Stein means stone. I have come to see the great exhibition all we say way what? All the way from my home in Bohemia. I've come to see the great exhibition all the way. Ah, way is this. Okay. All the way from my home Bohemia. How often will he take a balloon? I'm very rich. Inspector Gina Lestrade, Scotland Yard. I'm a great detective. Even Sherlock Holmes agrees. I was on the security duty at the expedition and I got up to in one of the balloons. It was amazing. Gina again? But she did mention that she'd seen the disaster from up in a balloon actually, didn't she? And she clearly loved every minute of it. There were 3 balloons flying near the public experimentation stage when the incident occurred. 2 of these witnesses were in one such balloon at the time and saw events unfold from the skies above. You make it sound like they were in the clouds. It was only an altitude of circa 60 feet, very low. Well, you can't see nothing if you fly too high, can ya? 60 feet. 60 feet? What is feet? I don't... About 18 meters then. What? Yeah, that's actually correct, yeah. Thank you for your introductions. Now you will give your formal testimony for the court. Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those who had a vantage point above the stage. Whoa, 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 whoa. It was an incident terribile. This guy is actually Italian, that's why. It was an incident terribile. I am only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. Yes, I have a horrible Italian accent. Is the huge bang from the stage, and then the next thing, another bang in the sky beside us. And from amid the smoke, a cage appeared out of nowhere. At the cage, it fell from the sky like a stone. It crashed into the crystal tower. I didn't get a good look inside. The cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. Why are they all so complicated to speak? A most extra common collective account, I must say. Could I just clarify something? There's a detail in the witness's testimony that I've not heard any mention of until now. Specifically, that there were 2 explosions. More precisely, 2 explosions in 2 separate places, yes. When the demonstration began, the balloon carrying the 2 witnesses was around here. There were other balloons in the air nearby at the time, carrying other passengers as well, to be clear. Then, as the power was supplied to the machine for the demonstration, the first explosion occurred. The so-called bird cage that contained the victim disappeared from the stage, and a moment later, the second explosion occurred directly adjacent to the balloon carrying the witnesses. Yes. The bird cage appeared at the site of the explosion, subsequently to plummet down into the crystal tower. I wonder if the experiment partially worked? I have like a feeling that this guy who built the machine basically wanted to screw them over for the grant and basically made a fake machine that basically was about to do the thing of like an explosion so nobody could see that there was a wax figure there standing in the cage which then drops below the stage or melts, I don't know, which also pointed the entire thing upwards there. And I don't know if I forget it. It's like it doesn't make sense to try to make any sense out of that yet. I was very surprised. Suddenly a cage appeared before my eyes with a person inside. The blast was so hot, I didn't want to miss a thing, so I kept my eyes wide. How many gold coins is he going to give him? I still have lots of money. That's okay. Precisely who is this curious infant? I told he is a young noble of Bohemian royalty. Apparently he disguised himself in order to steal unnoticed into the great exhibition. Hi, Bob. Yeah, I am here in London on a sightseeing trip with my elementary school. We will have the benefit of a child's point of view in the testimony. Do we really need that? When I remove my mask, this is what I look like. This is not only in regards to actually this game. I just never understood the idea that people have like this mask which just covers only the outside of your eyes. And people think like nobody is going to suspect it is me. Yes, it is historically accurate, but it is completely useless. It's basically like you taking a cap, putting it on your head and go like, nobody will notice me that it is me. This is just silly. Ah, yes, I see. A delightful face, I'm sure. Yeah, everybody says so. Great disguise then. The point is, the testimony of the witness further substantiates the facts for the court. Namely, that despite ending in an explosion, instantaneous kinesis was successfully demonstrated. And furthermore, that until the arrival of the police, no one approached the crystal tower where the victim fell. Therefore, only the accused who was with who was with my ass on the stage could possibly committed the murder. Yes, thank you, counsel. The prosecution's views on the matter are quite clear. So, the defense's cross-examination now, please. Chop chop. Yes, my lord.
Hold it!
There were 3 balloons flying above the experimentation stage at the time, I understand?
Si, all 3 of them, my bellissimi bambini. They are very popular, senor. Some people... Senor? He's Spanish?
He's Spanish. Is it? Wait, senor? Senor is Spanish, right? But bellissimo is Italian.
Senor, some people will pay £10 for one ride.
Wow, £10. £10? That's more than my annual stipend.
£20,000 a month?
That is my pocket money. Damn, son, that kid is spoiled. Royals have all the luck.
I got up here for free. I did. Played an old work for a Majesty Police Guard, you know?
Detectives have all the luck. If they're so popular, why would you only be operating such a small number of balloons, though?
Because I have too many in disguise. They could crash into each other.
The operators for the balloons were decided by lots, with each operator manning a particular area.
See, and the zone above the public experimentation stage is most profitable. As the others impresarios, they hate me.
Thank you, witness. I think the court has a clear picture of the arrangements. 4 balloon rides at the exhibition. Perhaps we could hear more about what you actually witnessed of the incident.
Right, I can fill you in there, my lord.
Hold it!
So you actually saw the accident happen up in the air?
Yep. Isn't it amazing what detective gets to do, eh? I'm telling ya, although being a lawyer's mug's game. Although being a lawyer's a mug's game, you should join the force and we can go flying together.
You know me so well. Yes. Well, anyway, could you tell us exactly what you saw, do you think?
Everything. I saw everything cause we were up above it all. The dodgy calf climbing onto the cage and the dodgy professor pulling all of them levers. And that's when it happened. That's when there was massive bang and the cage disappeared just like that.
You are describing the moment the subject's body was decomposed by the electricity, I believe.
I didn't know about what to make of it, but then there was another bang right in my ear. I looked around and there was a huge great fireball right next to us in the sky, and there was nothing there before.
Excuse me.
Master Gods, does your memory of the day differ? My teacher at elementary school said that when you meet someone for the first time, you should always use their full name. Yes, what was it again? Wilhelm Gottsreich Sigismund Ormstein. Even I wouldn't remember this. Just the four names then. The point is, do you have anything, do you have something to say? Something to add in response to the Detective Gina Lestrade's last remarks, perhaps?
Oi, get it right, Otto. It's Inspector Lestrade.
Why does everyone have a problem with how I address them at the moment?
That is not what I saw.
Oh?
Yeah, there was a second explosion and it was right beside our balloon. That is true. But I'm sure, which is what it said in it. 1 minute there was nothing there, next was massive explosions. My teacher at the elementary school said that when someone else is speaking, if you are rude enough to interrupt, you will have the most awful life imaginable.
Are all Bohemians brought up to be so full of joy?
Yes. Just before the second explosion happened next to our balloon, I clearly witnessed a green balloon flying in the sky.
A green balloon? Oh, full of joy, yes. You know what? Cage, person inside, and the idea was not to transport anybody, but create an explosion, aka a smoke bomb. Then it was basically a catapult that threw the cage towards the crystal tower, and there was a green balloon on it, so he wouldn't just crash into the crystal tower. And then someone shot the balloon, which then caused the cage to fall. The strange part is just that he was also stabbed, which is strange because the balloon would be essentially above him.
Eh, you what? I never saw nothing like that. Well, I did. I saw it. And you can't say I didn't. I will complain to the council. I will cry and scream. My testimony is the truth. I'm the Bohemian Prince. You cannot say it's a lie. That is not allowed. Playing the bleeding royalty card, are ya? Typical.
Says the orphan who likes to remind people she works for Her Majesty's police. In that case, young man, I must ask you to amend your formal testimony. In the interest of the cordial national relations between Great Britain and Bohemia. It was not the sky that exploded, it was the green balloon that was next to ours at the time.
Hold it!
A green balloon, you say? Are you sure about that? Of course I am. I'm a proud Bohemian prince. All these questions are making me boring. They are making him boring. I think you mean bored. Ach, English is very annoying. The language of my countrymen is far superior. No. Ragazzo, it is very wrong to lie. Lie? Flying balloons never explode. For the same reason, the planets never explode. It's logical. For the same reason, planets never explode. Please tell me that doesn't mean logical. If you insult me, I insult all, you insult all of Bohemia. Ma dai. I will have the army come and shoot all of your stupid balloons out of the sky. All of them. Here you are, Your Highness. If only all international incidents were so easily resolved. True. Now that peaceful relations have been restored here in the courtroom, perhaps we could return to the testimony. Did you also see the moment that cage materialized, Mr. Loon? No, I did not see the explosion myself, however.
Hold it!
Did you see that actually happen? No, in reality I did not. I saw after it hit the tower. There was a grand confusion around the stage. I ran to see what happened. He was terrorized by the idea that one of my balloons had crashed. I suppose they are his livelihood. But when I looked up to the sky, all my precious balloons were still there. I saw it though. I saw it slam into the tower. After all, I'm a detective now. Then tell us what you saw, Inspector Lestrade. It's what I like to hear. I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower.
Hold it!
Was it you who gave the order to keep people away? Use a aid order. How could I have been me? I was over in the balloon, weren't I? Right. The cars weren't available, it was the boss who had to leg it over there. He was get shoved and kicked all over by the panicking spectators, and he tried to seal off the scene. It was a real sight to behold, I can tell ya. Amazing. Oh, Inspector Greggs. So anyway, I could see the cage that I couldn't see the cage that well because of all this smoke. And I didn't really want to see, to be honest. I was so scared out of me wits. Keep it together, Inspector. Prosecution really is asserting that the demonstration was genuine. But what if it was actually some kind of switch around trick instead? That would mean that the victim was never actually on the stage in the first place. The two explosions would have thrown everyone watching into a panic for sure. I think I need to find out more about what exactly people saw at that time. We looked at this before. Why is this as unmarked? That's strange. He basically just talked about the article where Lord Zeeks was attacked by criminals. That was terrible, and you wanna go with them. Balloons were not damaged. It was material backed with rubber that was found under the experimentation stage at the exhibition ground. There are scorch marks at the edges.
Hold it!
There were 3 balloons. Did we do this before? CC, all 3 of them. Bellissimi, a Bambini. Very popular, £10. We talk about money. And in the skies crash into each other. And the zone above the public experimentation stage is the most profitable. Maybe. There's a huge bang on the stage, and then the next second another bang in the sky inside us. It was not the sky that exploded, it was a green balloon that was next to ours at the time. It fell from the sky like a stone, crashed into the crystal tower. Dug into the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower.
Objection!
No, this is wrong. Shut up, George.
Hold it!
Actually saw accident happen from the air. Yep. Everything, saw everything. Dodgy cove climbing into that cage and the dodgy professor putting them on them levers. Oh, it happened, there was massive bang, the cage disappeared just like that. Another bang right immediate. There was a huge fireball right next to us in the sky. There was nothing there before. What appears out of the flame, the cage, that's what. It's fine. So the people who actually saw the demonstration with their own eyes really believe they saw something miraculous taking place. Yeah. It was not the sky that exploded, it was the green balloon that was next to ours at the time.
Hold it!
The green balloon, you say? Are you sure about that?
Of course I am. I am sure. I am a proud Bohemian prince. All these questions are making me boring.
He's already boring. Bored. Flying balloons never explode for the same reason planets never explode. Hello there, Nox Pro. How's it going? Only all international. Yeah, okay, that's the same. Oh, did not see the explosion. Oh, well. Each fell from the sky like a stone and crashed into the crystal tower. There's nothing wrong about that. Actually, see what happened. No. In reality, I did not. I saw after it hit the tower. There was a grand confusion around the stage. I ran to see what happened. Nice, I was playing Blue Prince since you recommended it, and it's addictive. Yes, it is, right? I made a little bit of progress today in Blue Prince. Not much, but a few things. I'm glad you like it. I was terrorized by the idea that one of my balloons had crashed. I suppose they are his livelihood. Looked up the sky, all my precious balloons were still there. So it slammed into the tower. Didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower.
Hold it!
It's the same as before. Can't see the cage that well because of the smoke. Prosecution really is asserting that the demonstration was genuine. But what if it was actually some kind of switch around trick instead? I mean, I have a good idea what happened. Did it mean that victim was never actually on the stage in the first place? 2 explosions? Oh no. Was an incident terrible. I'm only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. It's basically where we present this.
Objection!
Okay, I'm... Mr. Loon, in your testimony, you said that all 3 of your balloons you had operating at the time were undamaged. See, that is correct. If they had been caught in the explosiones, it would have been terrible, not terrible, terribile. I wonder if you might know what this is. Ah, I think maybe. See, part of a balloon, a burnt piece of the fabric of the envelope. Sorry, the envelope? Pardon, that is the large round part of the balloon which becomes filled with hot air. It is made from a very thick fabric lined with rubber. You do not want it to rip when you are in the sky. Just as a thought, this piece of cloth was found near the experimentation stage. In other words, as Master Gods testified, a green balloon did indeed explode that day. If all the balloons in the sky above the experimentation stage belong to you, Mr. Loon, then your statement that they were all undamaged clearly contradicts that evidence. No! Balloon exploded that day. Why didn't maybe everyone aboard was killed? Oh no, having just spent 10 whole pounds and the text is too fast, so I stopped reading.
Objection!
The instantaneous kinesis did occur, but after the explosion on the stage. The point of materialization shifted to a location occupied by a balloon. Causing the balloon to explode? Yes, eminently plausible. An unfortunate traffic accident, as it were, but it changes nothing about the pertinent facts. These I cannot accept. Why not, Mr. Loon? You are suggesting that I am a liar. That person's died in a balloon incident. There is no need to get fired up, Mr. Loon. The victim was the sole fatality that day. That's right, I prove it. Balthasar Loon is not a liar. There was no such balloon in the sky. It is non-possible. Possible. Not possible. Possible. You're saying it's impossible? Why?
This court has more important matters to discuss than the number of balloons that were operating that day.
Objection!
But we can't ignore the fact that nobody appears to have known anything about this other balloon until now. Milord, the defense calls for further testimony from Mr. Loon. I concur. There is clearly more to the truth here than meets the eye. It's imperative that we clear up the issue of this phantom balloon, I feel. Witness, you will supplementary testimony about the balloons you were operating at the exhibition. Grazie, my lord. Oh, God. As I said, Balthazar Loon is no liar. Every balloon I hit in the sky landed safely. All 3 of my balloons were carrying passengers. If they fell to the ground in an esplosione, what a catastrophe! I again got away from the fact that burned up bead or cloth was found at the scene, can ya? The coppers at the yard reckoned it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on stage. This stupido ragazzo is mistaken. My balloons have the red and blue zigzag stripes anyway. Black and blue. So your assertion is that the balloon this child saw was not one belonging to you? Si, exactamente. If he even saw a balloon in the first place. I do not like the sound of it. It is very bad for business. I have a good mind to sue the land. I have a good mind to sue the land of Bohemia. If you attack us, we will fight back. We will be war. It will be war. All out war. War? Why war? Why is it always war? What happened to the all-out war? Mr. Loon certainly doesn't appear to be lying. That doesn't change the fact that the testimony and evidence are contradictory here. If the defense is unable to find fault within the witness's statement, the court must consider them the truth. Think long and hard on that, my learned friend. The situation has clearly changed now. I have to get to the bottom of what happened here, no matter what it takes. Counsel, you may now cross-examine the witnesses. Thank you, because I haven't done that before. There's no liar, every balloon I had in the sky landed safely.
Hold it!
You couldn't just have forgotten one, maybe? Senor, I might not notice if I was given 100 lentils and one was missing. But we are talking about 3 enormous balloons. Do you believe I could not make a mistake about something so grand and expensive? I took the liberty of having Inspector GAAC check on this gentleman's warehouse. I have the report here. It clearly says a total of 3 balloons. It would appear no mistake has been made then. Surely Miss Lestrade could have been sent for such a menial task. What? Me? I tell you what, I told the boss, is and kids like me can only count up to 2. Obviously they ain't true, but the boss bought it and said I'd have to go himself in that case. All 3 of my balloons were carrying passengers. If they fell to the ground in an esplosione, what a catastrophe.
Hold it!
It would be quite a catastrophe if they fell to the ground for any reason, I think. On that note, Mr. Loon, tell me, what is it that keeps these balloons in the sky? Jesus, are you an idiota? Sorry? That is like asking why does a candle burn bright? It burns bright because it burns bright. A balloon flies because it flies. What else? That is not an explanation. Must be Italian for I don't know. Scusi, scusi. There are 2 types of flying balloons, hot air balloons and gas balloons. Hot air balloons work on the principle of hot air being less dense than cold air, whereas gas balloons derive their lift by using a gas that is lighter than air. See, and my balloons are filled with the magic gas, I believe. Hydrogen. Lighter than air, but highly explosive. Good lord! I do not permit smoking of the cigarettes in any of my balloons. The magic gas does not like fire. Even a small spark of static electricity could cause the entire balloon to explode. What is the matter with you, senor? All that comes out of my mouth is esplosione, esplosione. All that comes out of your mouth is esplosione, esplosione. I tell you, my balloons are perfectly safe. They have to be, or I cannot eat. None of my balloons exploded that day, I am completely sure. But if you still say that it is what happened, you must show me proof. Alright, so Mr. Loon had 3 balloons in the air that day. If none of them were damaged, then what was the one that exploded? But you can't get away from the fact that a burned up bit of cloth was found at the scene, can you?
Hold it!
I was surprised to find a piece of fabric still at the scene, actually. Didn't you search the area surrounding the stage for clues? Nah, I'm not into picking up stuff on the ground. I'm not into picking stuff up off the ground, me. She is really difficult to read. Always works a way better diving into people's pockets instead. So much for the new career path. Mate, you, the boss was on his hands and knees picking up all kinds of rubbish from the floor. Thing is, though, the cage went crashing into the crystal tower, didn't it? So that's where most of the investigation was going on. Even so, I would have thought someone from Scotland Yard would have gathered it up as evidence. Core, listen to ya. Just stumble across a bit of balloon and suddenly you're the best investigator in the world. Pardon?
Well, you ain't got a badge, have ya? Like this one. I could arrest ya with this if I wanted to.
I wouldn't put it past her.
Come to think of it, there was talk of some scorching on the ground at the meeting we had about the investigation.
Coppers at the yard reckoned it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on stage.
Hold it!
There was considerable damage on the stage and the surrounding area, wasn't there?
Yeah, some of the cops what were watching the experiment were caught in the blast and injured. Good job, the old contraption didn't keel over, eh?
I hadn't even considered that.
It seems there was a great panic after the incident occurred. Nevertheless, the police shouldn't have missed a torn piece of the envelope from a balloon. Inspector GAAC can expect repercussions. Like me swiping all his fish and chips, eh?
Man's sole pleasure.
None of these matters. The scrap balloon envelope means nothing. Niente.
Stupid old ragazzo is mistaken. Balloons have red and blue zigzag stripes anyway.
Hold it!
You mean the color is wrong?
Si, senor. I do not have any green balloons in my warehouse.
And yet a piece of green cloth was found at the scene, and it's unmistakably from a balloon.
Well, I do not know how that can be.
For the sake of argument, let's say that a green balloon did explode above the stage.
You couldn't therefore conclude that it happened on the day in question.
Why not?
There have been recreational balloon flights over Hyde Park operating before the Great Exhibition. One could have exploded on some earlier date. Unfortunate, as I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah, but if that would happen, then someone would write in the newspaper about it.
You believe it may have been for some earlier balloon accident that predates the exhibition? Si, exactamente. As Senor says, it is not from one of my balloons. Clearly, this little ragazzo from Bohemia is mistaken about what he saw.
Excuse me!
Is something wrong?
It's Master Wilhelm Gottsreich Sigismund Armstein.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, something is very wrong. I know what I saw. There was a green balloon there. I swear it. I swear all over Bohemia.
I'm gonna go sleep now. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for being here, Coffee. Sleep well. Restful. Sleep. Good dreams. Bye bye.
You can speak as much bad language as you like, but it changes nothing. If you do not have evidence, ragazzo, then I must tell your parents to punish you, eh?
Perhaps we'll let the judge decide when it comes to punishments.
Evidence. What is this evidence? To give you a simple example, young man. A photograph, for instance, some tangible proof of what you claim. Well, why didn't you say so sooner? I have the photograph here. Good gracious. What? I had not been up in the balloon for a little
What? I had not been up in a balloon for a little while, so I was very excited. I took lots and lots of photographs of the Crystal Tower, of the Bohemian exhibit, of the streets of London, of the hot eel cellar, the balloon, and the instantaneous kinesis experiment. Did you take a picture of that? Yeah, one picture. Really? You did? You did take one? But all I wanted was a ride on a balloon. I was not interested in boring experiments. Never mind that. Can you show us the photo? Of course, and then you will see. You will see you will see that I'm not lying, that I really did see a green balloon. In a black-white photo. Then again, we can prove it. Well, I see you are all too shocked to speak. Yes, I think shocked is indeed the word, young man. Yeah, perhaps you cannot see that it was a green balloon from this photograph, but that is not my fault. That is the fault of the stupid person who gave me the camera. That is one very bohemian sounding cry. Very well, the court will accept this photo as evidence. Photograph taken by GAAC while he was riding the balloon. It shows another balloon that claims was green and exploded moments after he took his shot. The thing is that Mr. Loon said it had a zigzag pattern on his balloon. That doesn't exist here, so therefore it basically proves that this is the green balloon. What is this? Okay, yeah. Yeah, that is, of course, very useful that it was made with smoke in mind. I see. It's not my fault. It's the fault of the person who made the camera. Well, never mind. I'm sure we have plenty of wonderful sepia memories to take home with you. In any case, when exactly did you take the photo? Well, it was on the day of the big explosion. You don't say. When I pressed the shutter release, there was this very loud bang, and a hot wind rushed over my face. That means this photo was taken a split second before the explosion occurred. Well, if you ask me, this black and white photo changes nothing. I could not give the flying fig. Lovely language you picked up. You have picked up. As I thought, Mr. Loon's testimony just doesn't quite add up. A young bohemian boy claims to have seen another fourth balloon, but Mr. Loon vehemently denies the possibility. And it's hard to imagine the man in charge could be mistaken about the number that were in the air. Still, this inconsistency must tell us something, I'm sure. Landed safely. Nope. Not that. The fact that a burned up bit of cloth was found at the same canyon. So the art reckoned it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage. So the record was mistaken, my balloons have the red and blue zigzag stripes anyway. But this photo shows no such pattern.
Objection!
Okay, cool. Thank you, game. Yeah, okay. One was found hidden behind a tree at the experiment station. I am not entirely sure what to make with this. But the prince took a photo as proof. It's Prince Wilhelm Gottsreich Sigismund Ormstein. Your royal blood... your royal blood will not help you here, ragazzo. See, it is a balloon, but there is nothing more you can see from this black and white photo. Do you speak German? Yes, I do. I'm not German, by the way. But yes, I speak German. Ist absolut kein Problem, auf Deutsch zu reden. I'm Swiss, by the way. That's the reason why I speak German. Just look on my head. That is Balthasar's loon balloon, the best in the business. Let's try not to get overinflated. The point is this. Here we have a clear photographic proof that in the sky above the experimentation stage, there may very well have been a balloon operated by somebody other than you, Mr. Loon. Who was it? I want to know. Who was this mongrel with no respect for the boundaries? As I thought, Mr. Loon's testimony just isn't quite up. Okay. I'm only learning German, but it seemed like it was very well pronounced. My condolences. It's actually not easy to learn German. So, do you imagine it? It's mostly annoying because it has so many conjugations and so many pronouns that it uses. A lot of languages do that, but it is terrible. When you think about it, there are other languages which basically stop doing that, so I like when languages decide literally, like a good example for this is Chinese. For example, because while Chinese is complicated in the sense that you have one word that can be pronounced in 3 to 6 different ways, how you pronounce it changes the meaning of the word. Yes, that is the complicated part in Chinese, but one of the things that Chinese is doing really well is basically speaking in present. They form all their sentences in present, and all they do is adding a single word that indicates if it's a past sentence or a future sentence, or if none of those words are mentioned, it's the present. Which I find is so much more useful than learning like conjugations for 6 different, for like multiple different time forms. But, you know, there is no language out there that is actually easy. Every language fucks up at some point. I totally agree, like the ma particle or yes, no questions or declinations for the first, second and third person singular plural. Give me an example. You know, I read it and the thing is like, I don't remember all of this from school. This is also my native language, so therefore I don't even think about it. Where is this inconsistency though? Landed safely. Hi, Bob. As I said, but the moon is no liar. Every balloon landed safely. Oh, I don't know anything, just a few curiosities like, you are my friend, affirmative, you are my friend. Ma indicates that it is a question and you should answer. It's my point. Probably because I'm just trying to figure out what the MR is standing for. That's the only thing. But yes, you can. But then again, you can also do this in English. You can say like, you are my friend, or you are my friend, question mark. But I guess this is not basically what you mean. Let's see. Just about the Great Exhibition. Okay. It's nothing to do with that. It's another balloon. Every balloon I had in the sky landed safely. Shouldn't that then be...
Objection!
Apparently not. If my balloons were carrying passengers, der fell to the ground in eine Explosion über der Katastrophe. I'm lost. I don't know how to proceed from here, so... Muting the idea. An explosion caused an incident. However, we acknowledge that found a piece of cloth was found. The scene which played from explosion on stage. Let's see. Maybe this. Are you human? No. Are you a human? Yeah. Okay, I'm exactly at this point. Good, as well. Starting relation, photographer. Yes. May I try to present it on statement 5? As evidence, you want to present the photograph of the balloon on statement 2.
Hold it!
I pressed the wrong button. All three of my balloons were carrying passengers. Ah, that is the point. All three of my balloons were carrying passengers, and in the photo there are no passengers if they're in there. That's the point. I see. Yeah, that makes actually sense.
Objection!
Unfortunately, the photo Master Gods took can't tell us the color of the balloon. But it can tell us something else. Something crucially important. What? It shows that the pictured balloon wasn't carrying any passengers. Oh, my goodness, you're right. But surely all the balloons would have been carrying passengers. There would be no sense in it otherwise. See, they are for pleasure, for seeing the view. My balloons only fly with passengers. Which tells us that the pictured balloon isn't one of them. So when the incident occurred that day, there was a fourth balloon in the sky above the experimentation stage. The mysterious green balloon. I know nothing, Niente. I can only tell you one thing. If this balloon was not carrying passengers, then it was not one of mine.
Objection!
There are illegal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Clearly one such entrepreneur decided to capitalize on the opportunity presented by the Great Exhibition and managed to operate balloon flights on Mr. Loon's patch without him realizing. See, the competizione trying to steal my profits. I did not know this because of the esperimento that went wrong on the stage. His fourth balloon exploded at the very same moment as my ass was beamed from the stage below. Right, so the scraps that fell on the ground after it left them scorch marks. It didn't come from the stage at all. It was beats or the balloon raining down. But cause no one was in it, it didn't get no attention. A mysterious fourth balloon carrying no passengers, silently floating over the experimentation stage.
Objection!
This photograph shows us nothing more. A stray balloon carrying no one and operated by some rogue trader. Clearly it has nothing to do with the case. Its relevance does elude me, I must say. The court has seen sufficient evidence and heard ample testimony already. The prosecution calls for this trial to be concluded. Nobody's interested. Really? Have we really got to the truth yet? No, can't let this opportunity slip away. The jurors' minds are made up, not in our favor. What else in this photograph tells us there is nothing more that we can learn from it? There's more.
Objection!
And I see it. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait. Please don't give your decisions yet. The photo from Master Gods may well be hiding one more vital clue.
What's that?
A vital clue!
Objection!
We're past the point of mere possibilities. It is time for definitives now, so tell the court. What exactly does this alleged clue in the photograph prove? the cause of the explosion, I would say. We can reasonably assume that the picture balloon was destroyed in the searing heat of the explosion. Yeah, that's right, yeah, it was not my fault. Evidently. Because the birdcage from the kinesis machine materialized in the sky where it had been flying. And the balloon, being filled with flammable hydrogen, instantly and explosively ignited.
Objection!
No, that's not what happened. What? It would appear that this photo requires closer examination. Counsel for the defense, you will highlight the location of this alleged clue in the photo for the court. Of course, my lord. If you look closely, it's plain enough to see. And what's shown is linked to another piece of evidence we have. In a way that leads to an unbelievable conclusion. A clue that heavily suggests the real reason the balloon exploded is, well, this here.
Take that!
The timing of this photo can only be described as miraculous. If you look, you'll notice there's a bright white line that appears to point directly at the balloon. Most likely a ray of sunlight caught incidentally on the film. I'm afraid I can see nothing of the sorts. I'm blind. But my lord, look at it. Use your special eyes. If you look with a magnifying glass, my lord, it becomes clear that what the nature of this bright light is. Goodness, what is that?
Undeniably some flash of light, yes.
Oh, jolly. Do you think it might be lightning?
But it couldn't have been a finer day.
I don't remember what voice I actually gave him in the first place. I believe we may be looking at a fire.
A bolt of fire heading straight for the balloon like an arrow.
Indeed, even to my aging eyes, it would appear to be a flame of some sort. But you didn't see it before, now you see it. My word! Are you suggesting this flame struck the hydrogen gas that filled the balloon?
Objection!
That is absurd. The balloon would have been 60 feet above the ground at the time. No flame could possibly have reached such a height.
Objection!
Actually, it's my opinion that a particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals how that is exactly what did happen. What evidence? If such evidence exists, counsel, then for God's sake, present it, man. Which evidence explains this mysterious streak of flame that appears to be headed directly for the balloon? Well, this, the crossbow.
Take that!
This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornamental tree near the sea. Good lord, is that a crossbow? An arrow dipped in oil and set alight could have been shot from this weapon, sending a flaming arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled balloon. Are you suggesting that the crossbow was used deliberately? Blimey, you're right. The streak of light in the photo looks just like an arrow, doesn't it? Then the explosion of the balloon, it was very likely the result of a flaming arrow from this crossbow, igniting the hydrogen gas inside of it.
No.
Order! Order! Council, this is an extra common superstition. Supposition. Supposition? Supposition. English. If the aim was to cause the balloon to explode, the shooter could have used a gun, of course. However, there's an obvious reason why that would have been out of question. The noise of the discharge, of course. That's right. By using a crossbow, the projectile could be fired at the balloon silently. Wait, yeah, if someone had shot a gun off an exhibition ground, it would have caused a real panic. See, but with the big explosion, there was a big panic anyway, no? Don't like this. I should be pleased to have found a plausible new explanation for all of this, but something feels wrong.
Objection!
Do you understand the implications of what you are saying, my Nipponese friend? If a flaming arrow did indeed hit the balloon, then obviously it would have exploded. And if the birdcage appeared from the cloud of smoke that ensued... What? Wait a minute, what are you really saying here? I don't get it. Was the birdcage beamed up to the sky after all, or what? My goodness me! Ah, now I understand. That's what that sinking feeling is about. I think there's a good chance that the birdcage was actually concealed inside the balloon all along. What? Did you just hear that correctly, Council? There's no going back now. The horse has bolted. But that is ridiculous. Let's assume, as I said, that the birdcage was hidden inside the green balloon from the start. But this is apparently a real person, and it is proven that it was a person. So the arrow actually didn't really hit this guy. So this guy was hidden inside the balloon, but he was already dead because he was stabbed to death. Then he was put into the balloon. Then someone used the crossbow and the tool from Professor Bun Bun to shoot the balloon, which then caused the explosion and him falling down, which most likely also probably bounced the tool back onto the stage. Maybe it's that. On stage, when the experiment was started, the birdcage in the instantaneous kinesis machine disappeared in a cloud of smoke. At that moment, the flaming arrow was fired from the ground, causing the green balloon explode and drawing the attention of the spectators to the sky above their heads. From amid the smoke, the hidden birdcage then appeared to fall down and crash into the crystal tower. I think I think you will all agree it's entirely plausible that what I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiment carried out that day. Good grief!
Objection!
This is ludicrous. What you've described is no science experiment. It's child's play. A contemptible display of stage magic. Both Mr. Sholmes and Iris said that the experiment was a scientific impossibility. In which case, this is the only way to explain what happened that day. And in any case, the victim's body was found inside the bird cage in the crystal tower. If the instantaneous kinesis didn't take place, how do you explain that? Oui, if I may put in a word as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can easily be explained by some simple deception. Juror number 3. All that would be needed is a doppelganger, someone who looked very similar to the victim.
My ass.
And having this other man appear on the stage to the front show as a body double. Yes, of course, so in fact,
My ass.
must have been inside the bird cage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start.
Objection!
That balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Anything hidden inside would have been scattered to the 4 winds when it exploded. No one would ever have embarked on such a risky venture.
Not necessarily. The explosive force of the balloon gas would very much depend upon the mixture ratio.
Juror number 4.
Flying balloons are rarely filled with pure hydrogen, but a mixture of other gases such as helium as well. Helium on its own doesn't explode, but controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered.
The mixture ratio?
Obviously, the victim's body would have suffered some burns that would be unavoidable. But not to such extent as to render his whole obscene charade impossible.
So everything that happened can be explained, logically and scientifically. The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It was all part of an elaborate deception to make it appear that instantaneous kinesis had occurred. Well, goodness me. And if we accept that this is what happened, it means that the victim,
My ass.
was never present on the public experimentation stage to begin with. In short, he couldn't have been killed by the defendant who was on stage in full view the entire time.
Ugh.
This will be very hard for the prosecution to counter. Lord Van Six can't credibly maintain that Professor Ban is a suspect now. He will ask, who was then on stage? Probably? Mr. Naruhodo, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Professor? But you can stop now. Just keep your mouth shut, please. Sorry? What's this all about, Mr. Bun? I'll Albert Bunbun hereby confess that it was me who stabbed
Shit.
that it was me who stabbed.
My ass.
Yes, it was me. It was me. With my faithful friend at Barton, Andrew the screwdriver.
What?
What are you doing? Order, order, order. Defendant, explain the sudden confession.
Objection!
Professor Bunbun, what are you talking about?
It's what I've said all along. I must protect my hypothesis on my precious machine. I stand there and claim it was all a trick and an elaborate prank. But where's your proof? No, you have to examine the machine if you wanted to prove it, but then it would be all over. My beautiful hypothesis would be laid bare. I mean, indignity of it. The indignity of it.
It's clear that you drew plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite conceivable that you were duped, Professor. You would just have...
Baron,
Yes.
I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say. I swear. So please, ensure the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act is adhered to, and protect my creation.
This guy is an idiot beyond belief. This guy is literally an idiot. I understand that he really wants to protect his invention. I get that. But he's literally like saying, I'm going to die for this. Pray forgive the discourtesy of feeling my hallowed chalice at this critical juncture. Here's to you, my learned Nipponese friend. What? And his upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in the light of the accused's confession. Do you intend to formally assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick? Because at the moment you do, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act, SDSEA, that protects the professor's invention will cease to apply. The prosecution will then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth. However, if you acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder, any chance of investigating will be crushed and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved.
Well, counsel, what is the defense's official position on this matter?
What Professor Bunbun, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of his hypothesis. But there's no way to do that without implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence, or do I uphold my client's request but see him condemned?
Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust. You've been silent long enough. Isn't talking your trade, my learned friend? Or has all knowledge of English escaped your confused Nipponese mind? Mr. Naruto! There's no escape here. I have to make a choice. But it's an impossible one. I have to give up on something. But what? The defense asserts that the defendant's instantaneous kinesis machine was in fact... A proper scientific invention. Oh, and say it, my client placed his faith in me. I can't just let him down. What must I give up on is the question you have to ask yourself here. It's what I can protect. Hello again. Hello there. Oh God, why, Susie, are you back here? I hate you so much. Hello again, Mr. Naruhodo. It's been far too long. Susie. But you are... Hiya! First Susato takedown in 6 months. There will be time to talk later, Mr. Naruhodo. For now, we must concentrate on the task at hand. It's working out not what I have to give up on, but what I can protect. She's not here? Professor Bunbun. Ah, yes. Yesterday, you told me that science is the pursuit of truth. Well, my job is to pursue the truth too. Yes, of course. And personally, I believe that you didn't stab my ass. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you? That your experiment and the machine you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind that it was what we must pursue now. Ah! The good wine. So, you finally opened your eyes. What? And as for you, Albert, you can't ignore this any longer. Having heard my learned friend's assertion, don't you have something to say? Barack. Not when Six. Gosh, I never heard him speak that way before. In truth, there's one thing, something I've remembered that's of relevance. What? On the day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw a man near the stage. a man holding that crossbow. I beg your pardon? Truth. Professor, did your man have any distinguishing features? What did he look like? Tall. Taller than me. And thin. Thinner than me. With straight hair. Straighter and whiter than mine. Let me see. One less lens than me. 2. A monocle. A rather stylish black monocle. But one thing in particular will help to positively identify the man. You see, I know him very well. After all, he's the engineer who built my invention. What? He built the machine? That's right.
My ass.
Introduced him to me a year ago. He's a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. What a terrible name to have.
Enoch Drebber.
Does this name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered.
Not a name any scientist wishes to hear. The man's an abomination.
Oui, not a name a conjurer wishes to hear either. What on earth is he?
I'm afraid this isn't the first tale of this nature that I've heard in scientific circles in connection with that name. There's talk of other flamboyant experiments that turn out to be nothing but stage trickery in the end. Obviously, the rascal is after the government's research grant money.
Oui, when the magicians are in need of money, I have heard of them resorting to these underhand tactics. Some acquaintances of mine, experience of such things, have mentioned Enoch Drebber's name before.
The man is both an engineer and a magician. Yes, we're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster here. That's Enoch Drebber for you.
Hooray. So it's true then. My invention, my great machine, it was just a grand illusion? Considering that we've just heard about Mr. Drebber's character, I'm sorry to say, that sounds increasingly likely. Even though no one has believed me, I wanted to believe that the machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted. Which is why we are so opposed to it being investigated, I presume. I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen, but at the same time, I knew that it was found to be nothing more than a trick, than a work of deception. Then everything I worked towards, all my research, all my dreams, my whole life would be over. My whole life would be over. It's like, what is wrong with you, man? So, you really had no idea then, did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built, and the true nature of Mr. Drebber. I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it. It's entirely possible that my ass and Mr. Drebber We're working together to use you as a means of fraudulently acquiring the research grant money. When I announced my invention to the crowds that day, it was the finest moment of my career. I pulled all the levers and turned all the dials in exactly the way Drebber had described. When the smoke suddenly started billowing out, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. But I really don't know how the whole illusion was made to work. I don't know anything anymore. Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. Do you now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Blah Act? Yes, please go ahead. I'm very sorry. It would appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now. Lord Menzies. Me lord? The court has newly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical. Yes, Mr. Drebber. Gather information about the man. If possible, I should like him served with a subpoena. With pleasure, below. Well, counsel for the defense. Yes, my lord. When we reconvene, I shall be looking for the one thing and one thing alone from you. Evidence that the defendant is innocent of the crime for which he presently stands accused. I understand. Good. In that case, this court is adjourned until tomorrow morning. And let me guess. In the meantime, we go back to the Wax Museum for some mysterious reason. Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. You were right. I tricked you. You trust me. I dragged you into my mess. Oh, how did I ever come to this? I'm so sorry. Do you really have no idea, Professor? About what Mr. Drebber was really up to, I mean? About what he was really constructing? Naturally. That machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis, of all my hopes and dreams. Not the hopes and dreams. I had complete faith in it. Alright, in that case, I won't say anymore. Now, sadly, the murder accusation against you still stands. So we must do much investigation as we can before the trial resumes tomorrow. Those are the worst glasses ever. Well, thank you for doing so much for me. Is she now really here, or are we hallucinating, or what is going on? I'm so sorry for arriving late this morning, Mr. Naruhodo. Arriving late? Didn't you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I would arrive. Oh, postcard? What postcard? Oh god.
I hid it from you, Runo, so it would be a surprise. Well, did it work?
I was surprised, alright. Especially when she threw me to the ground. On a throw him on the ground. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was just so happy to see you again, but it sort of slipped out. Maybe we could stick to more traditional displays of emotion in the future?
Susie's train was late into London Victoria this morning, you see. But we made the coachman really whip the horses hard, so she didn't miss the whole trial.
I was watching from the gallery for a while, but in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself. Well, I'm glad you didn't. Oh. Having you at my side in court gives me strength I need to win. Gives me the strength I need to win. So, I'm delighted to see you back in London. She's back. Why is she back? Welcome back, everyone. Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm delighted to be here. I'm not. I hope I can continue to be of service to you. Go away. Of course. So, what brought you back? Did Professor Mikotoba not protest?
Let's save all that conversation for when we are back at home, shall we? You know, I've made one of my most special blends ever for this special occasion.
Oh, oh, Iris, how wonderful! I can't wait. Yay! Susie was back in London. It's hard to describe how happy that made me feel at the time, but despite my elation, our tale was about to take yet another extra common turn. What is an extra common term? A turn. Is it turning right? Is it turning left? I don't know. Extra common turn. Yeah.